Good evening, ladies. One of the phrases that really stood out to me, both from the video and from the reading in last week's chapter, was the phrase cultivating biblical memory. And by that, Pete, means the immersing ourselves in Scripture so that we're aware of the story, the big story in which we are participants, and how that can shape our willingness to be successful on Scripture's terms and our understanding of what that means. And part of that means a willingness to submit to the Bible's worldview, a willingness to say, this is how Scripture says that things work. And that may be very different from how the larger culture tells us that things work. It's a submission to the words of Jesus and the mind of Christ. And I was reading just a couple days ago in Luke chapter 24, and I think we see an illustration of what this looks like. This is Luke's initial telling of the resurrection story. Luke chapter 24, beginning at verse 5, the women have come, they have experienced an earthquake, they've discovered the stone is rolled away, and this angelic messenger speaks to them. Verse 5, the women were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground. But the men, or the angels, said to them, why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but he has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and be crucified, and on the third day rise again. Then they remembered his words. They remembered the story of which they were a part. They remembered Jesus telling of the story and how he fit in the story and what to expect about the story. These women remembered, and they acted on that memory. Returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and to all the rest. Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them who told this to the apostles. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Now let's just stop there for a minute. The women remembered Jesus' words and allowed that to shape their understanding of reality. The male disciples, on the other hand, heard these words from the women, these words of witness, which were totally consistent with Jesus' telling of the story. And one writer puts it, it just seemed like so much twaddle to them. Isn't that a great old English word? Luke says these words seemed to them an idle tale. These men allowed a different story to shape how they were processing the news of Jesus' resurrection. The women remembered. The men said, no, in the context of the way our world works, this is just so much twaddle. And it took Jesus coming in their midst to correct that understanding. But part of being successful in scriptural terms is, as Pete says, a willingness to cultivate biblical memory and a willingness to submit to Scripture's understanding of reality. And I pray that that is something that will be developing and going deeper in your life in the days ahead. God bless you.